Hi YouTube, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you've been here for a while, welcome back. Today's topic, I would like to talk about Taraji P Henson and Tracee Ellis. And before I get into the topic of today's video, I would just like to say that I know the marriage topic um, is such a hot button topic. And I've been down this road many times before on different platforms when the subject of marriage would come up. So many women would become angered and enraged, and they would want to hurl insults and stuff like that. And I feel one reason why that happens is because a lot of women, particularly Black women, are not being honest with themselves in their desire to wanting marriage. So instead of either ignoring the topic that they say that they're not interested in anyway, they prefer to, call names, instead of just bypassing the subject altogether. And like I said, this has been ongoing years. I remember asking the question years ago, and I think even wrote an article some time ago, and I said, when did wanting a husband become such a bad word, such a bad thing to want? And it's definitely more shown more prevalently in our community. And I mean, not a day goes by when I make a comment on other people's content or whatever that I'm called a pick me or whatever. And as many of you know, I've already mentioned this many times over, I'm married. I have no dog in this fight. But what I'm trying to do in particular is talk to the younger women, because it's almost a guarantee that at some point in your life you're going to want marriage. And something else, a lot of women are are hearing so much negativity about marriage. They're hearing all of the you know the I ain't pressed, marriage isn't a goal, get your bag up, get your education, and all of that stuff, which is fine and good. But you also have to think about your future, because like right now you might be in your 20s, even your 30s. You're not going to remain in your 20s and 30s. And you might think one way right now, but once you hit 45 and up and you're still not married and you might not have children and stuff, all of that is going to come flooding back in on you, and you're going to look back with regrets. I can almost guarantee it. And I have been quite transparent in my videos about not having children. And as some of you know, I did have a child. I waited too late, had a child through IVF. She ended up dying. And, I was already advanced maternal age. So my husband and we didn't try again. So these are things that I feel like older women should be trying to be um, honest and upfront with younger women. So I'm going to talk about Taraji P Henson first. So a few weeks ago, she was on a platform. I think the lady's name is Angela King, but don't quote me on it. If I remember, I'm gonna try to post that interview. So Taraji P, she's 50 plus, accomplished actress, and she's one of my favorites. I like Taraji, and she has done what so many women are encouraged to do: get your bag up, be a career woman and all of that good stuff. And what Taraji P said in this interview, she was, saying all of the things about, I'm just not happy. I'm not feeling happy. I haven't felt happy in a while. And then at one point she said, and it's not a man. And that kind of struck me, because I find that a lot of Black women in particular downplays the need or the desire for particularly a husband. There's nothing wrong with a lot of these women about desiring just some eggplant or just some piece of man that's going to come through and hit it and quit it. But for some reason, the desire for a good, stable man or a husband, so many Black women kind of like buck up against it. And so when she said, and it's not a man, she did that for the benefit of the sisterhood. And I plan to do a video about this so-called sisterhood because I do not subscribe to the sisterhood, and I'm going to explain why. So I don't think women understand, and I've said this countless times. When you're young and single, it's one thing because you're out and about, you're with your girlfriends, you're having fun, you're traveling, you're doing all kinds of things. But something about when your friends and whoever you hang out with, starts to marry and all of that stuff, and they branch off into their own little families or whatever, and then you're still standing there, wanting to party, but there's really no one to party with because everybody is growing up and they're moving on into the next step of their life, which is, hopefully marriage and then children and stuff like that. And, I don't know, like I said, when you're older and alone, and I was saying this back when I was in my 30s, I predicted this, or not predicted, I foresaw this for later. I could see how that could be an issue for later, and I hadn't even experienced that. And I'm not experiencing it now, but I'm just saying I foresaw how that could be an issue for later. And also, a lot of people don't seem to observe the world around them, and if they do observe the world, they're, like I said, the reason why I do these videos is because, like, right now, a lot of young women are observing the girl, get your bag up and get your drink on and all this and whatever. And just pay attention to the women and their ages that are telling you that. But I've already done a video on that, so I'm not going to really go into that again. So that was my thought on Taraji P Henson. I think the reality of not settling down as a younger woman is now, you know, it's now coming back on her. And see, and I really cannot feel sorry for older women, particularly older women who were surrounded by rich, handsome, eligible, not so handsome, maybe not so rich men. They had their opportunities, but instead of self-reflection, there is everybody else's fault. It's the men's fault. The men are F boys. The men is no good men and all of that stuff. When that's not necessarily the truth. Do F boys exist? Yes. Do no good men exist? Yes. But when you're younger and you had a plethora of men in your face, and nope, he not tall enough, which I get. Yes, we as women, we like taller men. Okay, he's not tall enough. He don't have the money that I would want. He's too lame. He's boring. He's corny. We have all these excuses of nice guys stepping to us, and we shoot them down. And then, because we think we have more time on our hands. So this is why I try to talk to you younger women, because even though I'm fortunate to be married, I could very easily not be. But you know what? I would hope that I would still be trying to talk to you young women about don't go down this path. Just like I try to tell women, get your husband while you're younger, then start your family. Don't do the cart before the horse. Don't have your children and then try to scramble for a husband, because you can, X yourself out of that equation by doing something like that. So next topic, I'm a fan of Tracee Ellis Ross. So she has recently been in the news, maybe not like national news, but like the YouTube news and, magazine articles and stuff. Well, in 2021, and this is an excerpt of what she said, this was 2021. And before I go into Tracee Ellis Ross, again, big fan of hers, used to watch Girlfriends and stuff. Now, you know good and well, she had an abundance of men who pursued her. She did. So, but let me just get into this. So she said, Tracee Ellis Ross is perfectly content living life as a single woman without kids. In a new interview with Madame Claire, Marie Claire, the 48-year-old actress opened up about the societal pressures placed on women to get married and have children. When asked by the outlet if she once dreamed of a life with a large family, Ross said, "Well, how could you not? Our I can't talk. Our society spoon feeds it to you," the Blackish star said. "I used to put myself to sleep dreaming of my wedding," added Ross, "and I would still love all of that. But what am I going to do? Just sit around waiting? Shut up. I've got so many things to do." Okay, about the societal pressures placed on women. I think it's just innately in women to want a husband and children. It's literally built into us. There's no societal to that. It's just in us. Because what society is doing, you know what's funny? It's when women say society is trying to pressure us into marriage, but then society is also pressuring women into having high body counts. How come women listen to that? Having children without a husband. How come women listen to that? Not getting married, getting your bag up, getting your education, but foregoing a husband. Women listen to all of that. But for some reason, you have these never married women saying things like society tries to pressure us into that. That's a crock of hooey, in my opinion. So, as recent as a few weeks ago, she said, this is Tracee Ellis Ross, and this is a quote. And she's talking about perimenopause. I went through menopause early. And I'm going to say, on a personal tip, when you go through menopause early, particularly if you have not had children, it's like you could feel your femininity and your womanhood slipping away. You're not going to feel that until it happens to you. When I used to have my cycle, it was a pain because I had fibroids. I know it's mostly men on my channel, so I'm not going to go there, but it's not fun. Not fun. Matter of fact, I used to tell my husband when I would be going through it, I said, it feels like someone is taking your insides and pulling it out. It's not a fun feeling. It's not. And ladies, if you come across my channel, you know what I'm talking about. So this is what Tracee Ellis Ross said. "Is it my fertility that is leaving me? Is it my womanhood? Or is it really neither?" she said. I have to fight. I have to fight to hold my truth because I have been programmed so successfully by the water we all swim in, by the water we are all served. And I feel fertile in creativity, full of power, more and more a woman than I've ever been. And yet that power that I was told I must use was not used. And see, and that to me is some more word salad about I feel more like a woman even now. When you are no longer having a cycle, I'm sorry, you do not feel like more of a woman. You just don't. At least I didn't. And I'm sure that there are other women out there that feels the same way. This to me just sounds like a woman that's in regret and she's trying to make herself feel better about decisions that she made, particularly when we know, given the way that she looks, she's got a banging body. Even now, there's no way that no men were pursuing her. That's just not the case. Women have been told to pursue career. Women aren't necessarily told to pursue marriage, husband, children. They're not. They're told to pursue career. Get your money up. Sow your oats, have your sexual fun. And that's where a lot of women, they get to the place after all of that. And then they're like, ooh, okay, where's my husband? Because it's coming. Y'all don't have to believe me. Like I said, you might be young right now, but it's going to come. And a lot of women won't admit it because they're trying to save face. Going back to this, she continued, my ability to have a child is leaving me, but I don't agree that that's what fertile means. I don't agree that that's what woman means. She's in denial. Sorry, she's in denial. This is just making her feel better about being at this age, her menstrual cycle leaving, and she doesn't have children. She's just trying to make herself feel better. Having not had children before going through perimenopause, Ellis Ross, who is the daughter of legendary singer Diana Ross, and I saw her in concert a few years ago, Diana Ross, it was fabulous. And one of my aunties went to school with her sister back in the day. Describes looking at being childless or child free with curiosity instead of heartbreak. That's some baloney. And I realized that being child free affects women differently. But this is why I do my channel, because I want you like, because see, I wish somebody had spoken like just raw truth with me when I was younger. But see, here's the thing, people did. I didn't listen because I felt like I had more time. And so, and there are some women that's going to listen to my channel right now, listening to what I'm saying right now. And they're like, but you know what? One day, I hope if you I hope that you really, listen to what I'm saying with an objective ear, and you make the decision that is right for you, be it marriage or don't get married. But this is what I wish women would do when they make the choice not to get married or not to have children, to not blame anybody else but themselves. You can't, if you wanted to ride the CC carousel, you know what I mean? Don't blame men later. Don't call them F boys. Don't say that there are no good men left. I don't want to hear it. Nobody cares that that's the decision that you've made in your life. People start to care when you start blaming other people for the choices that you made. And here's the end of this. The heartbreak does come up, and I get to hold that gently and lovingly, and then remind myself I woke up every morning of my life and I've tried to do my best. So I must be where I'm supposed to be, she said. Now, I do agree with that because I too made choices, not to get married young and have my children. But I'm going to also say that I had older women influences also in my ear discouraging me not to be married and not to have children. Now, at that point, okay, so it sounds like I'm blaming. And I'm truly trying not to blame because I did not have to go that route. But the reason why I'm doing this channel and I'm so passionate about, getting married young, have your children after you're married and stuff like that, is because I messed up. And I'm honest enough to admit that. And a lot of women, in my opinion, are not, like I said, honest with the younger women. And this is why I'm here. So this is my thoughts for today. Please like, subscribe, share, and I will talk to you later. Bye.